guys, so it's the Lost Cycling dude again, and I don't often make videos. I also don't often make videos to sell things, but this is a tool that I've been using since I started back in 2010, and I really think I've been doing it a disservice by not talking about it and giving a real bona fide review online. You may have seen me around, probably not. I kind of keep my head down and just work. But if you want to check out my blog, I do kind of chronologue my success online at lostcyclist.me, so feel free to stop by. A tiny bit about me: I used to ride bicycles a lot, hence the name. Got married and I wanted to have more time at home, so I was working at a call center job, really didn't like it, and in my evenings started getting online, building some info barrel sites, building some hub pages, putting some stuff on Squidoo, hanging out in the Warrior Forum, and trying to figure out how to make some money online. Finally, I got enough momentum that in 2013 we decided to leave my cushy job and I came home full time. So I've been home full time since April 2013, and it is now almost November of 2013, and really was one of the best decisions I made so far. I'm enjoying being at home, and right now, it pays the bills. I'm not getting rich online, but I am able to hang out with my kid and wife anytime I'd like, and I make enough money to pay our bills. So I am really happy with where I'm at in life, and I think that's what it's all about. Um, what I want to talk today is about Longtail Pro, and Longtail Pro was one of the first contenders, first strong contenders to Market Samurai back in 2009, 2010 when Spencer Hawes released it. And I had tried Market Samurai, and there's a few things I didn't like about it. And then I tried Longtail Pro and decided to go with Longtail Pro. And I know there's a lot of other keyword tools out there, but there's a few things about Longtail Pro that it's just caused it to stand the test of time. And I want to touch on each of those things to help you. I just kind of explain what I like about it. It's fast, reliable, thorough, and easy, and we're just going to go over each of those things as I use the tool. Let me switch over to the tool really quickly here. And here we have Longtail Pro, and actually you see I've upgraded mine to Longtail Platinum. That's a $17 a month edition, and I'll explain the difference between Longtail Pro and Longtail Platinum as we go along. But the first thing I like about Longtail Pro is that it's really fast. So if we want to, we just start a new campaign. I'll click Add here, and I'll tell it that I want to start one on model trains, and tell it to create campaign. And now I'm going to give it some seed keywords. I'm going to tell it model trains, HO trains, which is a type of train, type of model train, Thomas train. I don't know if that would be related to this niche or not. Let's try hobby train. Kind of tell Google keyword tool what we're looking for here. You can see here that you can tell it to include only certain terms or exclude certain terms. You can also apply filters, and when I'm getting ready to build a site, I like to tell it I want a minimum of 4 keywords in a phrase. This helps me narrow down on the really long tails. At the very minimum, I'll need at least 3 keywords in a phrase. So that would be a phrase that would say, for example, best model train. 3 words in that keyword phrase that we would be targeting. It seems that when you have 2 keywords in a phrase, it's just a lot harder to find anything competitive in that niche that is able to easily rank for. And so especially when I'm starting a site, I'm going to go for those lower traffic keywords that are also less competition among my fellow internet marketers in order to rank. So here is going to be 3 or 4 in the numbers of words, and then the average local search is at the very minimum 10. Typically on a first run, I'll put about 100 there and just see what we get, and see if I get some keywords with decent traffic. Some people like higher things. I know Spencer likes to have a few keywords over 2 or 3,000 on most of his sites when he's building his. All right, so you see it's already kicking back keywords to us, and it's just going to go through each of these phrases that I entered and take them over to the keyword planner and tell it to search for that, and it'll take those results and put them in the tool to where we can see it. Sometimes if it's the first time you're using the tool, it'll have you log in to your keyword planner account through Google AdWords, so you will need one of those accounts separately. Longtail Platinum and Longtail Pro is in compliance with Google's API, and that's one thing I like. When Market Samurai got shut down, when some of the other keyword tools I have used in the past got shut down from Google's API changes, Longtail Platinum has continued to stay in compliance with their changes, and this has gone over several changes over the 3 years I've been using the tool. And so I'm very confident that Mr. Hawes is going to do everything he can to keep this tool in compliance so we're not getting banned and so we have the tool for a long time to come. You see down here that 1,453 out of over 2,000 results have been filtered out. It's nice to have the tool sort that out for us so we don't have to sort that. That's going to be those filters that we put on there that we want to have at least 3 keywords and that we also want to have at least 100 searches a month. And then what I like to do is organize it by local monthly searches, and we'll start with the big numbers and work our way down. Now what you're going to see here right away is the average cost per click. If you're interested in targeting keywords for AdWords, you're going to see your local number of searches, and I really don't worry about that too much. I mean, the more the better, and the only thing I will do is if it has a high number of searches, I will probably make that one of the main articles on the page and make the site more about that, and then put filler articles around it based on other keywords I find. I like to have at least 20 related keywords before I start a site, and so that's something I'm looking for. Now, if you're using Longtail Pro, you will not have these calculate buttons down the side. These are to determine the competition that you are up against with your fellow internet marketers who might already have blogs in the niche, in the model train niche in our example. With this, so what you would do if you're just using the Longtail Pro without the upgrade is you would click on this phrase and it will take you and it will do a search of this keyword. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have all this information, and it really is overwhelming when you first look at it, but after you do about 10 keywords it gets to where you can just eyeball these so stinking fast. First of all, you're going to look down here and see who has Thomas and Friends in the URL, and we have a few, 1 2 3 4 5 that have it in the URL, and then YouTube, which as you've noticed is going to be Google's new thing for 2013, is to put a lot of YouTube up there. So this might be a great keyword to compete if you wanted to create a YouTube for. Over here, you're going to see page authority, and this is an SEO Moz metric that is highly accurate to tell you how much authority that page has. I like to see my keywords have several results here that are under 30 for the keyword that I'm targeting. It's going to show you how many page links it has and how many of those page links actually are carrying juice to the page. And on this one, most of these aren't carrying a lot of juice to the page, so that's a good sign for the niches we would go in. Also, you have your domain authority, and that's something important to pay attention to because you might notice that YouTube doesn't have a very large, may not have a very large page authority here, but it doesn't need one because the domain itself is very strong that the page resides on. So you kind of learn to look for these things, and basically I'm going to look through here and see if I have some are under 30 here in the page authority. I want to have several page links that are hopefully 0 or at least under 30 if I can. And then I'm going to look down here and want to see some weak domain authorities, ideally under 40, and even if I could get it perfect in a perfect world, 30 or 24. Those are really good numbers to see here in your domain authority. And then this Moz rank is just to show you how much trust, what kind of trust the links are they've created. This YouTube video doesn't have very trustworthy links coming into it, probably some really spammy type links, whereas Thomas and Friends, the official site, has a really good. And a Moz rank of 5.5 is a pretty strong Moz rank. And then here you have the Google PageRank, and Matt's Cuts just explained that for 2013 they are not re-updating PageRank. So PageRank here is very outdated, but it still gives you guidelines to go by. I don't hold my breath over PageRank though anymore. And then finally we have, and it's fallen off my screen here, we have how old the site is, and of course as you're probably aware, the older the site, the stronger it is. And that is wanting to run off my page here. See if I get that to cut loose and actually just show it what we need. Alright, so I actually ended up pausing the video just slightly to work out that little bug there and backed out to the keyword research tab and then came back into competitor analysis. And that brings us to our next point. Longtail Platinum is very reliable, but there are little bugs and quirks you'll find with it where sometimes it just won't load a keyword, or after I've done several thousand keywords for the day, it wants me to shut down the program and reload it in order to keep going forward with it. That's something I've run into with just about every keyword research tool I've used with the kind of volume of keywords that I go through in a day. And I just kind of assume it's part of the business. When you program these programs on Adobe Air, like Longtail Platinum and most of these others are, you just run into some bugs with it. So what I do like about the reliability of Longtail Pro is that it has outlasted so many of the other tools. When there is a bug, they get on it, and you can contact their support ticket, say, hey, this tool is not doing this, and in most cases they've already know about it and they're already working around the clock to get the tool working again. And even if they can't get it working 100%, maybe, for example, Google will change something on their end, and now the tool doesn't work. So they'll get the tool working with as much functionality as they can, release that update to the tool, and then finish fixing the tool and release the rest of the update. It's one of those things that Spencer Hawes actually works in this business. He knows how essential this tool is. He uses the tool, and his outsourcing staff uses this tool on a daily basis. And so he's not just selling the tool to make money, it's actually something that he uses. And so you find that there is a lot more support on this tool than really any other tool I've bought off the internet. You can contact them, how do I do this, and those kind of questions as well. But more importantly, when the tool breaks, they're on it to get it fixed. And if you get a little bugs, I'll back out of window and come back in. I'm comparing Longtail Platinum to other tools such as Market Samurai or Traffic Travis that I've used, and I just find that overall this tool tends to be a lot more trustworthy. So there's my little reliability pitch, and you even got to see a glitch up there, and how it didn't let me move this window over to site age. It blanked everything out, and I just had to go to the keyword research, come back to the keyword, click on it again, and it repulled the data for us so we could work off of that again. So there we go. What I like about also another thing is that this tool is very thorough. So a lot of this data we're looking at, a lot of the tools will look at page rank, they'll look at the number of links. But with Longtail Pro, it really pulls this in from the SEO Moz. It relies heavily on SEO Moz data, and I find SEO Moz data to be very accurate. It may not show you as many links as some of the others, such as ahrefs.com or Majestic SEO. They tend to show you more links. So if you see a lot of links here, you can assume that there's probably a lot more links. Like this just shows 3 links. There's probably several hundred if I were to look at ahrefs. And so sometimes if I really feel like I need to know something, I will look at it more. But I see that the links are pretty weak according to SEO Moz data here, and so I'm pretty trustworthy. This is a pretty weak video that you could knock off if you wanted to. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at kind of some keywords that we might use if I was actually trying to build a site. The first thing is that I do not deal in e-commerce sites at this time. Actually, I do have some e-commerce sites, but most of my sites are review sites. And so when I'm doing a review site, I want to make sure that the keyword is something that a user, let's say a mom is getting ready to buy a train set for her son. She wants to know what is the best train set. So she is going to be looking for reviews online, and she might come to my site and want my opinion about what is the best train set. So right now, someone types in Thomas and Friends, they are probably looking to buy that or to watch videos for Thomas and Friends. But they really they don't need an opinion about Thomas and Friends. So that's something we can delete. Thomas the Tank Engine, not looking for an opinion. Thomas the Train Video, not looking for that. So we can just kind of keep knocking off this stuff. Day Out with Thomas, looking for a specific video there with Thomas the Train is not related to someone looking for an opinion. So what's key here is that I go through and I find some sort of keyword where people are looking for an opinion, and then I will start doing my research there. So let's see if we can find one really quickly here. Let's see, YouTube Thomas the Train, looking for some videos, more videos, HO scale trains. Now, if you had an e-commerce site, you would probably want to know how hard it is to get into the HO scale train niche. And so you could use Longtail Pro and see, hey, we got an eBay or Wikipedia site here, got an ePay here. So those are a couple strong sites that are in here. Not a lot of sites that say HO train in the URL, so that's a good sign. We have a page authority of 1 here, a page authority of 1 here, 2 that are 22. So that's great. A couple 46s, but those are your YouTube videos, and Google's ranking those low because Google knows that people searching for this probably are looking to buy a model HO train site. And then on down here, very few juice page links. Domain authority, there's a 38, that's pretty weak. At 36, that's pretty weak. At 32, that's pretty weak. So if I was wanting to start an e-commerce site, I think HO Scale Trains would be a great e-commerce store to start. And feel free to go ahead and do that because you have a lot of, it's going to be very easy to break into that niche. But we're looking for reviews. So let's see what we can find here on reviews. And I'm just doing this on the wing. I haven't prepped anything here, so let's try not to take this too far out. In scale layouts is something that you could probably post some videos and you see videos ranking high there, YouTube. But also some diagrams. If you had access to diagrams for in-scale layouts, that would bring some traffic to your site as well. And the tool's still running, but we noticed that we're getting some low numbers here already, 31, 32, 33. So very easy to rank for on in-scale layouts if you had in-scale layouts to provide to your people. So just going through here and trying to find a keyword that has like the word best or review or Thomas Train versus HO Train. Some of those keywords people might be looking for an opinion on. Birthday cakes, videos, Toy Train Heaven. I tell you what, let's try to slant this search request to where it's a little bit more favorable for what we want. Let's do reviews, HO scale versus, and tell it to search with those two and see if it might come back with something a little bit more review oriented. Alright, there we go. Supplies, model trains for beginners. This would be a great keyword to investigate. Now, a keyword pro user who's not paying the extra $17 per month for the platinum benefits has an incredible tool. You click on here, it goes model trains for beginners, spits out this data that we've seen. So it's going to say, okay, that's a really strong one, 60. 41 is fairly strong. This is not strong, but you see it's on 100 domains. So in effect, it's still fairly strong. But this PR web is not really a strong domain. Even though it says 40, it's kind of something that's been engineered to rise in the ranks, but it's not that strong. You also see that there's not a lot of things that, I mean, say model trains for beginners. This one does, this one does, this one does, this one sort of does, and now we're into the YouTube things. So if you had a really strong site, I would think that you should be able to get in there and kind of climb up the ranks a little bit and bump off one of these YouTube videos. Typically, you only see 3 or 4 YouTube videos, unless the search engine results are really poor. So when you see this many YouTube videos where we got 5 or 6, basically Google's scrambling to try to come up with something good so you can put together a model train site and get it to rank in there. So something that's, and let's also use this as a quick way to demonstrate how the platinum features work. So the platinum features, you have something else. You have this calculate button, and what this will do is it'll do all of the searching, and it will spit back a number that takes all of those things, all of those attributes that we've been looking at manually into account, and we'll just throw this number out here. And ideally, I want the number to be under 29. So this number would be a little bit too strong to go up against, but we also know there's a lot of YouTube videos that are ranking that are kind of skewing that number. So this might still be a good keyword to go for. It's kind of in that gray zone. Let's see what else we have here. Discount model trains, Atlas models trains, just kind of keep going through here. Scales for sale. For sale, what you think, oh man, that should be a good keyword. When you do this, what you're going to find is that when it says for sale in it, that almost all of these results are going to be actually trains for sale. So unless you have a website that sells trains, you're probably not going to be in a good position to try to rank it. So that's something where I would try to stay away from those keywords that have the word for sale in it unless you're starting an e-commerce store, which is a good argument about why e-commerce is a good field to go into. And you can check out my other video about the review of the dropship lifestyle, which is the course I recommend if you're interested in getting into e-commerce and starting to snap up some of these keywords. I'm going to go through here a little bit more and see if we find anything else. I mean, we already did sort of find one. Model Railroad Hobbyist is a magazine. Scenery. This might sort of be a keyword. You know, what's the what scenery does people want to see along the way? And so a lot of YouTube videos may be a good one to try to rank for in there. There we go. Get my mouse back around here. So I hope this kind of gives you an idea what to look for. What I actually do for this is I use a separate tool called Fresh Key, and it's another $20 tool, and I will do something like best model train, and I will have it download. And what this will do is this will go to Google. And while this tool's searching, this tool takes just a couple minutes to search, it'll go to Google, and when you do best model train, you get all of these suggestions. And you can do A, best model train for, let's just pull up Google here. Here we go. Best model train There we go. Airbrush for model train, and then you'll do B. Brands. What are the best brands for model train? C. What are the best companies? And then also fresh key. You can do something like HO scale versus, and it'll throw out N scale, O scale, 1/32, show you the competition, and then you can put that in the fresh key, and then it'll also stretch those out and start putting those A, B, C after it. So fresh key is a great tool to kind of get into those really good long tails, and what's great about that is you take these results, export them, throw them a little file over here, open that file, and this is how I like to use fresh key in conjunction with Longtail Pro. I'm going to open this and tell it to give me keywords. There we go. Good. All right, and then I'll just select these, hop back over to Longtail Pro. I'm going to get rid of these for this one other search. I'm going to show you how I like to do it. Paste those in there, and then tell that to generate some keywords. Okay, so my filter settings are actually too tough for this one. All right, let's hop back here real quick. And there we go, generate keywords again. And this should give some data. Keyword research is not easy, and once you master it, you have just unlocked the keys to your success. It's a skill that you spend hours playing with tools like these and just get the hang of it, and tools like these make it a lot easier. And so what's nice about the Platinum features, I can just run down here and start picking out these and just at a glance figuring out which ones are tough and which ones are going to be easy. So this is 25, super easy to target. For best model train sets, low visiting, but not many monthly searches, but you throw up 10 or 20 pages and you've got a pretty decent site that should have no problem bringing in 30-40 bucks a month on Amazon, and then just build 100 of those sites and you're up to 3,000, 4,000 a month. So that's how this internet marketing game is played. So all four of these keywords be excellent keywords. They have the word best in it. People are looking for reviews, and they have a low competition score you're going up against. So that's how I do it. And then what I do is I go to WordPress, or actually buy a domain that would be related, model train set reviews.com, something like that. I'll build a website, and we'll just use that website to rank these things. And there's a few things I like to do to help things rank. Let me pull back my PowerPoint again here. All right. So find several keywords with a keyword competition under 29, or based on the manual criteria that we reviewed. The keywords are reviewed oriented. People want my opinion. I'll build a site around the keywords, and I want at least 20 keywords before I build a site. That way, if one keyword doesn't rank, the other one will. And then your site needs to be found, and your site's not going to be found unless you promote it. So I'll promote it on Facebook, I'll promote it on Twitter. I'll also go to other sites in the niche, other blogs in the niche, and I'll leave thoughtful comments on there, and I'll sign off. Hey, this is Quinn, the Loft Cycling dude. And a lot of times I'll let you link back to your site too, and that's great if they want to visit. It gives you some traffic to your site. Doc sharing sites is kind of fun. You can create a document about different things such as the best train sets, etc., and load these to doc sharing sites such as ScriptD. And those sites will then give a link back to yours and help drive some traffic, and also help your site be a little bit more authoritative in the search engine's eyes. Slide sharing sites, you can create slides, shows like I'm doing today, and use that to drive some traffic. And there's a whole other world around backlinking that you can study. Just type in, how do I create backlinks? How do I do SEO? And that's a whole nother world to get into. But basically, I've been able to rank a lot of sites in a matter of 2 weeks sometimes. Typically, it takes about 6 weeks for me to really get a site up to speed. But because of Longtail Pro, I'm able to hone in on what it is that we're trying to do. So I guess that's what I wanted to say is I like Longtail Pro. I mean, right now, every bit of my $2,500 or $3,000 a month that I'm making is because of this tool. Thank you, Spencer, for creating such an excellent tool. And if you're looking for a keyword tool, I can definitely stand behind this one and say this is a great way to go. Also, I'll include links underneath here for the Longtail Pro. If you decide you like the Platinum features, you'll have the opportunity to upgrade on Spencer's site when you visit that. The fresh key, I'll include a link for that as well. well. That's a $20 tool that really does a great job at scraping Google suggestions, coming up with suggestions that would work out well for these type of sites that we like to do. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments or hop over to my blog at lostcyclist.me.